Alrighty, looks like we're live. So I'm using this new streaming software called Opus. Just testing it out. So far, it's pretty sweet. We'll go ahead and share screen, and there you should be able to see it. So now, whatever I'm messing around with, you should be able to see what I'm looking at, and hopefully you can all hear me. Yeah. So I just downloaded this software today called Nicepage. It's the desktop app, and it's pretty cool. You can see I was messing around with designing a website for a company here locally. Let me see if I can create a brand new one from scratch. But before I do that, just want to check something. I'm going to be coughing a little bit. Sorry about that in advance. All right, let me just jump over here real quick. I'm going to stop sharing for 2 seconds. All right, so for those of you that are here, let me know in the chat if you can see me okay and if you can hear me okay. And then I'll go ahead and share my screen again and just start messing around. That's funny. All right, well, anyway, I'm just going to assume, I'll check back in a little bit, but just going to assume that people can hear me and see me. We'll find out later if that's not the case. All right, so back to this tool I found. This is essentially like Wix. If you're familiar with Wix, it's like a website builder, kind of drag and drop sort of thing. Except you use it on the desktop. So I haven't used any of their templates yet. I guess we can mess around with that. But it's just like a super fast way to be able to build a website for a client, especially if you're not a web designer, which I do not claim to be in any way, shape, or form. I know my way around the back end. That's funny. It doesn't sound good, but not much of a designer. All right, so I'm trying to find one that I like. The problem with a lot of templates is they just have so much junk in them. But anyway, these are premium. There's no point in me looking at these. I can't use these. That's what the little gold crown is. These are premium. All right. Well, this one's not premium. So we can use this one. All right. So just I have like a little bit of familiarity with this tool. I used it for like an hour earlier. It's pretty straightforward, like intuitive. I didn't have to do a tutorial or anything. So on the left side here, we have these things called blocks. So starting at the very top, you have this header, which I guess I just need to scroll up to see that. But then you put the site logo there. This is the hamburger menu that pops out. You can switch between desktop, laptop, tablet, tablet horizontal, landscape, portrait, cell phone. Oh, I guess that was portrait or landscape phone. In any event, you can see the different screen sizes, so you can make your design to be responsive, which is nice. And then pretty much anything in any of these elements in here, you just click on it, and then whatever type of element it is, you get all these options on the right hand side. These are kind of your styling. And then if you need to like change the image, you can click on that. I think I want to say they connect to we'll just do it right here. So if you click on image, you can see they've got from Nicepage, you can say show more, and they'll show you some images. These are all just stock photography. And then they also, I guess, use Pixabay. You could always go out to like Unsplash or anywhere else, or you could upload your own images if you want to. But if you found something you liked, then you can just click on it and it replaces it. So there's the new image. And you can see there's all these different elements, like design elements. It's kind of interesting. This one's called a box. I don't know if it has a background image. It has a tile, so it has like, that's what it looks like is selected. So the background is set to an image. And then if you click on image, does it tell you? I don't know where that image is coming from, but it's just this like transparent little dot, and then they're tiling it. Excuse me. So this is cool that you can layer stuff if you're a designer, like, and you want to get fancy with it, you can. Also, just like the free floating, not a lot of times when you see a website, it's very like, this belongs here, and then right below it, there's some other stuff, but this is kind of like, doesn't matter, just put it wherever you want, and it can still be responsive. So that's pretty neat. Like you could take this box right here and move it wherever you wanted to. Just let it puts it behind there. So I guess you'd have to move it back up to the front if you wanted to. But what was I going to say? I don't know. Anyway, you can see where if you click on it, you think this is a heading 1. You can go in here and just immediately change this text to whatever you want. And you can change this text. This is just a text, like a paragraph. And then they've got another text. This is a button here. So on the button, they've got some different options here for the background and then the different states. So this is the default state. And then when you click it, it actually gives you the pressed state. You can click on hover, press. These are the backgrounds for those states. You can give it a border or no border. You can change the radius if you want it to be like rounded or just a little bit rounded. It's pretty cool. Change the font, all kinds of stuff. And then of course you can change where it links to. So you can have it linked somewhere else on the page. So this is pretty neat if you just want to get started from like a pretty professional looking design, and then just go in here and say, okay, change this to whatever the client wants, change that to whatever the client wants. If you're not using free pick, then you don't need to have these in here. So you can go delete that stuff out and just make sure that you're not using free pick images. So you can replace these. You could, this is kind of like a design thing where they have the juxtaposition of the images, but if you wanted, you could have an image that actually fills up this entire area just by clicking that little collapse or expand icon. You can change the image, of course, like we saw earlier. And then whenever there's like white space, you'll get these plus signs where you can add a new element, and then it just gives you this massive list. And if you know the name of the element, then you can just type in like a H1, right? And then here it is under text elements. There's something called H1, heading H1, and there's even shortcuts for it. You can just do Alt 1 apparently. That didn't work for me, but it says there's a shortcut for it. There it is. So when I clicked on it and I did Alt 1, it gave me so like if you got all the shortcuts memorized after using this for a little while, you could just start slapping different elements in here like super fast. So again, you can go in here, change the font, change the color, change the text, put it however you want, view it on different devices. They're a pretty sweet tool. So they have all these different features, different areas of the page. So you essentially just need to go in here and change the images. They even have animations, which is really neat. And they do have like some transitions and whatnot. And then for the images, I haven't seen one that does it yet, but like for this one, for instance, I could try to check parallax. And then as you scroll, now all of a sudden you get that parallax effect where the image stays where it is in the background, which is pretty cool. So this is all just like with the click of a button. So stuff that would take you, if you're not a designer, or even if you are a designer, it might take you quite a while. You can really streamline these processes. So there's a premium version of this. I don't have it. I've just started messing with it today. If you were using this to make money, you would definitely want to pay for it. It's not super expensive. But just for messing around and learning it, it's really cheap. I mean, it's free. So it does have limitations in the free version, but as you can see, we're able to do quite a bit of stuff. So with any area, if you want to add a new block, anytime you see the plus sign, you can change the margin on things with this little up and down. You just drag the margin, it tells you the value, and you can drag it. You can do your footer here. And then I think like if you created a component, I don't know where you would do it. So here, you would export a block or add it to your library. So then like once you've done this for a while and you've like created components and you know like, oh, I need a hero here. I need a main area, an aside, a nav bar, a footer, and you have these components already created, then you can just import them from your library and just plug them in. So I think the more and more you use this tool, the more fluent you'll get with like the keyboard shortcuts, but also, the more like components you'll have created, the faster your process will be for creating websites. So these are blog posts apparently. So this is pretty cool. It's just like a WYSIWYG editor. You can go in here and create blog posts. So if your website has a blog page, which I'm not seeing one on here, but if it had a blog page, this just says home about contact, then you could create blog posts. The modal pop-up thing, you could do like a cookies policy on a pop-up. I don't think you can add more modals in the free version. You can see they've got all these little crowns, and that just means that it's a premium feature. You can see all the different stuff they have here with the grid. You can just do whatever you want with the grid, right? Like, okay, I want just a container. I want 2 halves. I want 3 equal thirds, 4 quarters, quarters in a box. These different options, 80 more options. So just like tons of different grid setups. Then they have pre-made blocks that already have like the header and the icon and the text and the image and everything in place. So you just like, I like that one, use it. And that just shows you like 8 of them or whatever, 10 of them. And then you click and here's over like almost 100 total. So lots of options there. I mean, once you got fluent using this thing, you could crank out websites super fast, way faster than you'd be able to writing the HTML and CSS. Looks like they have the ability to do some PHP scripting. So that's pretty cool if your stack is using PHP. So like if this is a static website and you're just throwing it up on an Apache server and you want to throw some PHP in there, maybe for like a contact form or something, that would be the way to do that. So your media library, that's going to have all their stuff. There's that texture that we were talking about from earlier. Here's all the images they're using. You can delete the ones you don't need. You can upload new ones. A little plus sign here for adding an image. You have your library. You can create blocks, essentially components. And then here's like the site colors and fonts. So you can go through the colors. Obviously, we have some blues and stuff. So here's the headings and then the text. So you can really go through here and style kind of at a glance, like define the styling for your website, for your theme. So then for the colors, you see they've got the theme colors here, but you can change them however you want. You can add additional colors. And then, yeah, basically I think you just like pick a color and then it gives you all the different, whatever you want to call it, shades of that color. So this page, the theme settings page, is actually the same thing. Like it has blocks. Each one of these is a block, and like you can go in, you can like edit it and change it. So templates, we already kind of looked at that, but like they have options for just plugging things in. Like if you need a blog, here's your blog post, blog post, picture, sample text, read more link. Anyway, we don't need that, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And I did this last time where I like screwed things up. Okay, so here's our pages, home, about, contact. So on the home page, it essentially has everything you need on one page. But if you want it to be a multi-page website instead of just like a single page website that scrolls, then you could have additional pages. And then for the nav bar, you can go into your menu, and these link to those files, but you can also change them. Like if you just add a new one, for instance, you can see that goes to a page. So you just select from the available pages, or you can go to a URL or a block anchor, which is just an ID. And so you just tell it, I want it to go to this specific block. You can have it download a PDF. You can have it, or a file for that matter. You can select that file from your library or upload one. You can have it call a phone number, click to send an email. You can even have it preload the email subject, copy, blind copy, etc. And then you can have it go directly to a blog post. So pretty flexible. So other than that, I mean, there's just, this thing is packed full of features, and I haven't explored all of them myself. But you can see, like, anytime you click on an element, image or otherwise, you get basically the visual of the CSS on the right-hand side. You can even add a CSS class if you want, and then you can click on Edit CSS, and you can go in here and you can add some styling. There's options for SEO. You can see, like, here's the preview for this page. Then you can add the title for the page, the description. You can put your canonical and your keywords. You can have it not be indexed by robots and show up in search results. You can see what it looks like when you share it. You can like upload an image. So this is all like great for being able to share it on like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. HTML, you can update your meta tags here. You can add additional head elements to the head tag inside the head element. And then just general, you've got your page name, which is home for this one. And then if you want to like protect it or organize it, you can do that. All right, so when this is all done, then you can publish. And so there's a bunch of options. You could publish directly to a website. I think you probably have to, they have, it looks like they have their own. So you can publish to their server if you want, which is neat. You can publish to an HTML file as a folder, or you can compress it, zip file. You can even FTP it, add your server, and log into your server through FTP and just upload it that way. So that's pretty streamlined. You can set the way that the URLs are formatted, whether they're relative or whether they're from root. It gives you an example of what that is if you're not familiar with that. You can include your blog posts. WordPress, you can export as a template. So if you make like a theme, say for Joomla, and then I don't know what these other two things are. maybe just like if you want to create like an image to like send to your client so they can see a preview of the website, and then just export the project looks like. So if you just want to save the project file. So this is interesting. It's saying that it's premium up here. I don't think so though. I think I can still export it. So I'm going to do that. So apparently I was supposed to set some reCAPTCHA keys so you log into your Google account and get the API API keys for your reCAPTCHA, which is great that they have that feature. And then they have some documentation for how to send emails. So that shouldn't mess it up though. So like here it is. So this is interesting. They've got the index.html, but they also have the home, contact, and about. I feel like these two are probably similar or the same. And so you can see it does use jQuery. Nothing wrong with that, of course. So here's a preview of the website in the browser. Nice animations on that menu pull out. And then so obviously we don't have anything on the about page. We don't have any. This is the home page, which is the same as the index page. And then we don't have anything on the contact page. Scroll down. You can see where this link goes to nicepage.best. The other one goes to FreePick. And pretty smooth looking. Let's see how that, yep. Oh, there's a slide in animation for the text. That's pretty neat. And then there's the parallax on the image. So this is a pretty boss looking website that, you know, you can prepare for a client, and it could take you like less than an hour. It's freaking, it's mind blowing to me. All right, so let's look at a couple things. One thing, why did I open the console? I'm like running on fumes over here, so forgive me if I'm a little whacked out. But what was I gonna do? So I would check Lighthouse, but this has to be from HTTP. We could potentially serve it with like Unicorn or Apache or something, but I'm too lazy to go set that up right now. So for now, we'll just assume that it loads pretty quickly. I mean, just looking at the structure of everything, we can look at the page source. Just semantics. Nothing crazy. Not a ton of stuff in the head, right? Just a CSS, jQuery. Looks like they use defer. You could always just put it at the bottom if you want to. It just doesn't seem like this page would take long to load. It seems really lightweight. I'm sure if you added a bunch of extra stuff, and that's not to say that it doesn't have suggestions. They may say, oh, you need to put this and that below the fold, or you need to optimize this image or whatever. But I mean, seems like it's working pretty good. I would add in a little scroll to top button, but that's easy enough. Anyway, the tool is called, if you're interested, is called Nicepage. You can just look up Nicepage. And then this is the software for, this is a Windows machine, but you can get it from Mac. And they also have a cloud-based tool. I haven't explored either of those, but I assume they're similar. So that's pretty much it. I really just wanted to test out Opus, which I haven't even been to their website. So let's see what that's about. Probably have to be more specific than that. So Opus streaming software. Go. This might be it. I think this is it. Is it? Maybe not. Maybe it's the same company, but this is a different tool of theirs. Well, anyway, I'll be using this software more in the future, and so I'll get the correct links. That might actually be it, but um, I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, thanks for anybody that like popped in and checked out the stream. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.